My sister often mocks my husband's career, labeling it as feminine and unmanly because of his profession, so I pointed out in front of our whole family that his so-called feminine job is the reason her bills are paid, while her deadbeat ex-husband is busy settling his gambling debts. My husband and I have been blissfully married for several years, and we share a wonderful daughter who has filled our lives with immense happiness. My husband has always been deeply passionate about gaming, and long before we met, he launched a YouTube channel devoted to it. Back then, his channel was modest, with only a small number of subscribers, and he balanced it with a steady 9-to-5 job that provided financial security while he nurtured his hobby on the side. He never abandoned his love for gaming, but YouTube remained more of a creative outlet than a significant income source. When COVID-19 struck, things took a challenging turn. Like countless others, my husband lost his job when his company closed its doors. It was an incredibly tough period for us, especially since I was pregnant and suddenly the sole breadwinner. The loss wasn't just financial. It shook his confidence and sense of stability. Despite the emotional strain, he refused to give up. While diligently searching for new employment, he channeled his energy into expanding his YouTube channel. His persistence paid off gradually, as his subscriber count began to climb, and soon his channel became a legitimate source of income. What was once a mere pastime transformed into a lifeline that supported our family. Reflecting on it now, I deeply admire his tenacity and strength. After our daughter was born, my husband made a bold choice. He decided to become a full-time YouTuber and a stay-at-home dad. Since his work revolved around gaming and creating content from home, it was practical for him to take on the primary caregiving role for our daughter. Instead of relying on external childcare, he embraced the responsibility himself. This arrangement has worked beautifully for us. My husband is an exceptionally dedicated and engaged father, not just supervising our daughter but actively playing with her and tending to her needs. Simultaneously, his YouTube channel has flourished, opening new opportunities and generating more income. I also contribute financially and share household responsibilities to ensure a balanced partnership. One of the most thrilling aspects of his success is that it has enabled us to achieve dreams we once thought were out of reach. Thanks to his channel, we've traveled abroad multiple times, discovering new destinations and making unforgettable memories together, something we always aspired to but previously seemed like a far-off goal. Additionally, he helped me clear my student loan debt, lifting a tremendous weight off my shoulders. Last year, we even purchased a new home, a major milestone for our family. Looking at our life now, I have no complaints. However, not everyone views our situation as positively as I do, particularly my sister. She holds strong negative opinions about my husband's role as a stay-at-home dad and full-time YouTuber. To provide context, my sister's life has followed a very different path. She dropped out of college young and impulsively eloped with who she thought was her soulmate. She believed she'd found her fairy tale ending, but reality was harsh. Her husband got her pregnant, then pressured her to end the pregnancy. She chose to keep the baby, a decision that reshaped her life. Now she's a single mother raising twins alone, as her ex has completely shirked his responsibilities, claiming he can't pay child support due to gambling debts. I doubt his claims, especially since social media shows him living lavishly with a new girlfriend, clearly prioritizing his own pleasures over his children. Because of this, I've always tried to support my sister. As her older sibling, I feel a profound duty to help her and her kids, regardless of her past choices. Over the years, my husband and I have gone out of our way to assist her. We helped her purchase a car for reliable transportation to work, and for her children's needs. We frequently cover her rent, knowing how tough it is for a single mom without consistent child support. When she was unemployed, we bought groceries and paid for her kids' expenses. We never make a fuss about it or expect repayment. Family supports family. The problem, though, is that my sister looks down on my husband despite all he's done, not just for me and our daughter, but for her too. She clings to an old-fashioned belief that men should work traditional jobs outside the home. Over time, she's made comments revealing her lack of respect for his role as a stay-at-home dad and YouTuber. She's told me she thinks it's wrong for him to laze around at home while real men go to work. Each time I've patiently explained that times have changed. My husband works hard, earns more from YouTube than he would elsewhere, and gets to be an active father. Why should he leave home when he's providing for us so well? Occasionally, she's escalated her remarks, joking at his expense, calling him Mrs. or implying he's the woman in our marriage. My husband and I brush off these jabs, knowing her views don't define our joy. This weekend, my parents hosted a family gathering, inviting relatives for a warm meal and bonding time. It was a lively event, with everyone catching up and sharing stories. During lunch, the conversation turned to our recent Greece trip. My parents were radiant, proudly sharing how stunning it looked on social media and how much we must have enjoyed it. Since no one else in the family had been to Greece, they were eager for details about the places we visited, the cuisine, and our experiences. My aunt joined in, expressing genuine joy for our success, and how it's allowed us to give our daughter a better life than we had growing up. Her words warmed my heart, and I smiled in gratitude for the recognition. While the family celebrated our happiness, my sister's reaction was starkly different. She stayed silent, even rolling her eyes. When my mom playfully joked about joining us on our next trip, my husband enthusiastically promised to make it happen, suggesting Japan as a potential destination. My parents were thrilled, but my sister let out a loud scoff. Confused, we turned to her and she blurted, "I just don't get why everyone's fine with this." Shaking her head, she continued sarcastically, "I mean, come on, he's basically a glorified housewife." The table fell silent, the joyful mood evaporating. My husband's face dropped. I knew she didn't fully respect his role, but I never expected her to humiliate him so openly in front of everyone. Fury surged within me. I turned to her and demanded, "What's that supposed to mean?" She shrugged, unfazed, as if her words were harmless, and said with a smug tone, "I've always thought your husband's kind of feminine, so ladylike. No real man would choose to stay home and care for a kid. It's not what men do." Stunned, she went on, pointing at me, "Men are supposed to go out and earn money, not play video games and babysit. That's women's work. He's just a useless stay-at-home dad." My blood boiled. "How dare you belittle my husband?" I snapped, barely containing my anger. "It's because of him and his job that you and your kids have food to eat. It's because of his generosity that you got a new car when yours broke down and you couldn't afford one. It's because of him that your rent gets paid when you're struggling. And now you have the nerve to insult him." My sister looked startled by my outburst, but I wasn't done. "You call his job ladylike like it's something to be ashamed of, but let me tell you, his so-called ladylike job has built us a comfortable life. We've traveled, bought a new home, and helped you when you had no one else." I was shaking with rage and frustration. My husband never hesitated to help her, never asked for anything in return. Yet she mocked him for not fitting her outdated view of masculinity. She was visibly shocked, unprepared for my fierce defense. My mother stepped in, scolding her with disappointment. "How could you say that? This man has done more for you than your ex ever did, and this is how you repay him." The family sat in awkward silence, watching the scene unfold. My sister, now defensive, mumbled, "I didn't mean to offend anyone. I'm just blunt. You're all overreacting." But I wasn't letting her dodge accountability. "Overreacting?" I retorted sharply. "You just publicly disrespected my husband, the father of my child, who's done nothing but support me and you. You don't get to insult him and act like I'm the problem." She tried to argue, but I cut her off. "You act superior because he stays home to raise our daughter while running a successful career, yet your kid's father abandoned you, and you still cling to these backward ideas of what a real man is. Let me make it clear. My husband is more of a man than your ex will ever be. Since you think he's useless and womanly, you have no right to ask him for anything ever again. If you don't respect him, you don't get his help. Next time you're jobless, need rent money, or your car breaks down, go to your deadbeat ex, since you know what a real man should be." Her eyes widened, clearly unprepared for the consequences. She stammered, "Wait, I didn't mean it like that. I wasn't serious. You're overreacting." But the damage was done. My husband, silent until now, spoke calmly but firmly. "My wife's right. I've helped you for years without hesitation, despite your treatment of me. I'm done. I'm not opening my wallet or home to you again." His words carried such finality that my sister paled. She looked around for support, but no one intervened. My parents looked disappointed, our relatives avoided eye contact, and no one defended her. For years we'd supported her when her ex abandoned her, ensuring her kids never went without, yet she mocked the man who made it possible. Now she'd face life without our help. Since that night, the family has turned against my sister. No one supports her, and I'm not surprised. Everyone loves my husband, knowing how hardworking, kind, and generous he is. They've seen how much we've done for her, so her public attack didn't sit well. She's been texting me nonstop, whining that the family is shunning her over a few comments, and claiming I was wrong for calling her out publicly. She even said, "You shouldn't have embarrassed me like that. You made me look bad." I can't believe her nerve. She's acting like the victim, as if I attacked her unprovoked. She brought this on herself by insulting my husband, and now she's upset about the backlash. I haven't replied to her texts because I don't know what to say. Update 1. To those saying I didn't support my husband enough or let my sister walk over him, that's not true. I've always supported him and always will. He knows I have his back, which is why I didn't hesitate to defend him when she disrespected him. You're right though, my sister's jealous. It's clear now. She resents my husband because he's everything her ex isn't. He's loyal, hardworking, and a devoted father, stepping up in ways most men wouldn't. Instead of valuing that, she belittles him because she knows her ex is the opposite, irresponsible, unreliable, and absent. That truth hurts her, so she projects her bitterness onto my husband, mocking his role as a hands-on dad because she never had that. She sees caregiving as weakness, when it's a strength my husband embodies. She knows she's lost not just our support but the family's, and now she's playing the victim. I'm done excusing her. She made her bed. Now she can lie in it. Update 2. My mom called this week confirming my suspicions. My sister's in damage control, calling relatives to explain her side and gain sympathy, but no one's buying it. My parents told her she must apologize sincerely. No excuses if she wants to fix things. I respect them for not enabling her. They support whatever my husband and I decide, even if we never help her again. They said, "She's a grown woman who made her choices. She has kids to care for and needs to learn to do it herself. You've done enough. If she thinks she doesn't need you, let her live with that." It's a relief they're not guilting me into forgiving her. I haven't spoken to my sister, ignoring her calls and texts. My husband's blocked her and has no intention of dealing with her again, and I don't blame him. After her humiliation attempt, she doesn't deserve our kindness. We supported her for years, and she repaid us with disrespect. If she thinks my husband's useless, she can survive without him. Update 3. 2 months since my last update. My sister showed up at our doorstep late at night crying, with her exhausted, scared kids. She couldn't pay rent, as her job doesn't cover her bills. Her landlord evicted her after multiple warnings, and with nowhere to go, she begged for help. I stood there, staring at the woman who called my husband a glorified housewife and not a real man, now asking for a roof over her head. I felt for her kids but couldn't help her. She never apologized, and her need didn't erase her actions. I told her to find a motel or ask her ex. She argued I was obligated to help as her sister, saying she just needed a few months to save for a new place. I refused, reminding her she burned this bridge by disrespecting my husband, who'd done so much for her. I pointed out she had months to apologize but ignored us until she needed something. Her audacity infuriated me. She tried to argue but I was firm. Not wanting to fight in front of her kids, I closed the door. She yelled, calling me cruel, but I stood my ground. She's staying with my parents temporarily, mainly for the kids' sake. My dad's disappointed seeing through her excuses, but they're allowing it for now. Update 4. I thought things had calmed down with my sister at my parents', but yesterday while I was at work, she showed up at our house drunk and unannounced. My husband said it began with loud banging on the door. He thought it was a delivery but heard her screaming his name. When he opened the door, she forced her way in, disheveled and furious, blaming him for ruining our relationship, claiming he brainwashed me against her and calling him a pathetic excuse for a man. My husband, ever calm, tried to de-escalate, asking her to sit and breathe, but noticed her slurring and swaying. She was clearly intoxicated. He called my mom, then me, but I was in a meeting and missed his calls. My sister's rant escalated, accusing him of abandoning her in her time of need. When my mom didn't answer, she threw things, knocking over a lamp and nearly breaking a glass. She even yelled at our daughter, who was nearby, prompting my husband to call the police. When officers arrived, she was still screaming but tried to act innocent, accusing him. Our security cameras captured everything, and her intoxication was obvious. She was arrested for trespassing. I was furious when I learned she harassed my husband and scared our daughter. Any lingering sympathy is gone. We've agreed to seek a restraining order if she returns. The family knows she was jailed overnight, and my parents are shocked. My dad's had enough and wants her out, feeling she's endangering her kids. My mom admitted my sister's been drinking heavily, even when caring for her children, and can't deny the problem anymore. They're scared she'll harm her kids if she continues. My sister needs serious help, but she's running out of people willing to offer it.